television highlights of the news of yesteryear.
Wearing uniform and insignia held in high esteem the world over, here are the Girl Scouts of America. And here is Miss Juliette Low, founder of Girl Scouts in America, as she appeared in 1919, after organization had won honor for its work in World War I. In skirt lengths of long ago, Girl Scouts on the home front did a winning job. With coming of peace, Girl Scouting returns to its more peaceful ventures. Yes, this is rude awakening for girls peacefully asleep. But this is almost like the Army. And even if you're a girl, you just gotta get up. And the day's a busy one, as Scouts learn the ins and outs of basket weaving. And to learn the important secrets of forest and field, like their brothers, the Boy Scouts, girls who've enlisted for scouting hit the trails for hikes. It's all in the line of duty, and a Girl Scout does her duty well. For long jaunts, it's full pack, but for walks through the woods near camp, the lighter, looser uniform is all the Girl Scout needs. Did you ever wear one of these? And did you try for the Golden Eaglet? Well, here's impressive ceremony as Girl Scout with 21 merit badges gets her organization's highest honor. Yes, Golden Eaglet, for this good scout of a girl, and the proudest moment of her life. In middle 1920s, Grace Coolidge is First Lady of the land and honorary member of the Scouts. Here on White House lawn, she tries Girl Scout cakes and finds that scouting has sure taught the troopers how to cook a cookie. To less fortunate children, Girl Scouts carry gifts. Here they enter a hospital to bring food and cheer to crippled youths. And here they pay well-deserved honor to Mrs. Nicholas Brady, important Scout executive of yesteryear. In 1925, at Roslyn, Virginia, Mrs. Calvin Coolidge again officiates, this time to award prizes to leading Scouts and troops. With her are founder Juliet Low and Mrs. Herbert Hoover, all three of them dressed in the latest Girl Scout fashion of the day. Time passes, and in 1929, Mrs. Hoover is First Lady of the land, and one of the first things in her heart is the work of the Girl Scouts. Here's Mrs. President in New York City, an exhibit in behalf of Girl Scout Drive. To become useful citizens of their communities, Girl Scouts learn first aid and how to help in sick rooms. For Scout training is not only pleasant, but practical and useful in later life. Good Girl Scouts learn the ways of good wives and mothers as part of the program of planning for womanhood. In 1937, at Briarcliff Manor, New York, girls of all nations listen as Eleanor Roosevelt speaks at the 25th anniversary of Girl Scouts of America. On the 12th of March, 1912, in Savannah, Georgia, a dozen girls were all who wore the Girl Scout uniform. But by 1950, more than 1 million wore the honor well.
It's 1925, and Bronco Charlie Miller demonstrates the use of Australia's famous bullwhip. But not everybody's as good with a lash as Charlie. Makes it look easy, though, doesn't he? There's no smoking sign somewhere, and Charlie's assistant doesn't see it. Here's the same stunt in slow motion. Charlie's helper better not give his boss any lip. Here's one way to get somebody to cuddle up a little closer or put a stop to a beautiful friendship by breaking a buddy's neck. And here's how to dump an enemy way down under in the kangaroo fields. Charlie, my boy, that's really throwing the bullwhip.
Here on visit to New Orleans in middle 1920s is Vice President Charles Dawes, his famous upside-down pipe, and Mrs. Dawes. Famed author of Dawes' plan for Germany's payment of war debts, Dawes was one of our most illustrious vice presidents.
Why, it's none other than Mayberry. Yes, here's famed musical comedy actress in middle 20s when she was at height of her career, her first career, that is. For after going into retirement and obscurity, she went to Hollywood and a comeback.
Here's actor Paul Lucas in 1931 with fellow artist Carmel Myers. Hungarian-born Lucas made stage debut as comedian in his native Budapest, came to America in 1928 to begin long series of dramatic and serious roles. In 1943, he gave one of his best performances in The Watch on the Rhine. It's 6th of January, 1927, and nearly all of Governor's Island is in flames as one of the most spectacular fires in history of New York waterways virtually destroys headquarters of United States Army 2nd Corps area. Starting with small flames and defective flue in building near west wall of island, fire was fanned through temporary barracks by stiff and incessant winds. It was 5 hours before firemen and soldiers could bring conflagration under control. And though not everything burned, this is what was left of barracks area morning after the fire was put out. Today, Governor's Island is site of beautiful brick buildings, but this is Governor's Island, January 1927.
So long ago that old-style magnesium flares are used to make these pictures possible, the center drive of the famed Central Park Mall is open to skaters. Even the youngest of the skaters here is among the middle-aged Manhattanites today, but that sure doesn't mean he's put his skates away. Daytime doings in Central Park. In 1920s, city fathers sponsor races on scooters and bikes and anything that'll roll. King of scooters is little Tony Spinara, but he doesn't compete against girls. That would be just sissy stuff. When it comes to race with pushmobiles, winner of event is Tony Spinara. Here's Flanders and try for tricycle crown. And you guessed it, the winner is swift little Tony Spinara.
Flying higher. At Jersey City Airport, March 7th, 1931, Miss Ruth Nichols prepares for try at new world's altitude flight for women. And then she's off for higher skies than any woman before her has ever seen. In plane owned by radio magnate Powell Crosley Jr. of Cincinnati, Miss Nichols is aloft for 1.5 hours, then brings the big scarlet and cream-colored Lockheed Vega in for perfect landing at Jersey Field. Fighting fatigue and thinning air, Miss Nichols' daring flight is huge success. For 10 days later, National Aeronautic Association accepts her climb of nearly 30,000 feet as an official record, and Miss Nichols adds to her many laurels as one of America's finest flyers.
Best of the bathing beauties. The place, Venice, California. But we really don't have to tell you it's the 1920s. Those rolled stockings should tell you that. But bathing stockings are the style, and these beauties gather throngs around them as they paraded down this Venice Avenue. Some are very pretty, too. But get a load of the outfits these 3 prize winners are wearing. Queen of them all, Helen Darling, wearing suit of, yes, silk and ermine. And a king is there, Jack Dempsey, new heavyweight champion. Wonder what would happen if these suits got wet.
Post time at Latonia. It's June 22nd, 1926, as 30,000 spectators await running of Inquirer Handicap. And they're off. It's feature race of day, with purse of $6,600 added. And leading the pack is Bradley horse Barcolo, with jockey Craver up. But it's still a long way around track to stretch and finish line, and Barcolo is ahead by neck that isn't as long as it should be, for safety's sake. Down the back stretch, Barcolo holds the lead, but most of the pack is matching him stride for stride. At end of backstretch, they swing into the far turn, and with jockey Craver letting Barcolo go, the Bradley entry keeps his precious lead. Then pounding into the home stretch for the last bursting gallop to the wire, Barcolo gets the scent of victory and drives still harder. A host of challengers is at his heels, but Barcolo beats them to the wire, winner by a nose. Victor of the Inquirer Handicap of 1926, Barcolo, winner all the way.